What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Zach Sharps, here for episode number 48 of Level Up. Now, in this video, we are going to do our quick first impressions of me and Greg. Since Greg finally got it installed, downloaded, give his first impressions and mine after the first hour, instead of the initial, like I did yesterday, the hour video, basically highlighting all my initial reactions to everything that's surrounding and everything that is Tera. This will be a little bit more of an informed and synopsized version of my thoughts surrounding the first hour and more. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and enjoy. Alright, so first off, I want to welcome Greg to the show. What's up, Greg?
What's up, man? How's it going?
He's always here to provide a little bit more of an in-depth explanation on stuff, because it helps out to have someone to sort of make sure that I don't go on endless rants and stuff off and on. So let's start out with the graphics of this game. Obviously, Tera is a beautiful game, Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at the scenery, everyone says this game's beautiful. I mean, a lot of people notice its beauty, and this game obviously can be beautifuler. I mean, I don't have the best graphics card, and I even think they've released every single option that's available. A lot of people say that there's an HD texture pack. Once that pack comes out, I'm like, my computer can't run this anymore.
But actually gonna have to turn it down.
Exactly, because the textures right now are already really good. I mean, there's some blurriness here and there, but not too much. What would you sum up the graphics like? I know you like them, but what do you like about the graphics in this game?
I don't know. It's just beautiful. Just look at it. I mean, it just feels more detailed. Like somebody actually took the time, and actually, made specific things and made the animations the way they should.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It just feels more like they took really good care of this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it's just I can't really put my finger on exactly. It's just all of it. It's just completely different than anything I've played before.
Yeah. So you mentioned the graphics in the sense that it just feels complete. What exactly do you mean by that? Like, I made a video back with Sortor that the world felt lifeless. Does this game feel lifeless? And what does it do to keep the immersion factor in for you? Like the details that you see and stuff like that.
Yeah, this game is definitely not lifeless. I mean, everything's moving, just little bushes moving around, birds flying around. There's just random things constantly going on. I feel like I'm in a real world almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Alright, so we've got rid of the lifelessness thing. What little details have you seen throughout the world that just make you go, duh? Like, just make you awe.
The huge structures. Just like when you walk into a city and you see that just big, huge, like, castle building or whatever it is, you're just like, just blown away. Like there's finally an MMO that made real live huge structures, like, the way they should be. And they just don't look. They don't look all crappy or nothing like that either. They actually.
Yeah, they look very nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so I just want to show everybody my mount. I did just get a mount recently. After that little boss fight, you get your mount, so just want to show that off. Also, I want to show everybody the areas in this game, because a lot of people are worried about it being a grind fest. Well, it's not going to be a grind fest. Look at this map. Alright, so you only have, I believe it's 55 levels to max level, and they are there's rumors going around that they might be 65 by release because the Korean servers. So look at this map. Alright, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 areas in this game for roughly 60 levels. I'm not even counting Tutorial Island, so you remove 10 levels from that, so about 40 levels and about 20 areas. That's about 2 levels per area. This is not going to be a grind fest, folks. I'm pretty confident it's not. So you don't have to worry about that rumor going around. That's it's just going to be an overhyped grind fest, because obviously it's not. Because, Greg, have you had to grind this game yet?
Not really. I mean, I always catch myself just killing an enemy, just for the hell of it, just
Yeah,
because
just 'cause it's
just
fun.
'cause it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's all fun. It's just something fresh and new. It's awesome.
Oh god, I'm actually in an area now, Greg, where stuff actually aggroes. But to get
Oh,
yeah, to get off the subject of graphics and stuff like that, how would you say the world's constructed? Like the organization, the vastness of it. How big is the world in your opinion?
it's pretty big. It feels pretty wide open. It's just everything is placed like where it feels like it should be placed. Like you look down there where all the waterfalls and everything are. You see like little. I wouldn't even know how to explain those little beams of light or little structures. It just feels like it's supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Throughout the map.
Yeah. So you would say it's laid out perfectly.
Oh yeah, in my opinion, maybe
Yeah.
somebody else may else feel different, but in my opinion, I think everything's well placed where it should, where it should
Yeah.
be.
I've brought up the subject a lot. This game reminds me so much of Ion if it was done completely right of where all the hype led up to be. Now, I love Ion. I always will love Ion, but this game just feels so complete and so what people expected from Ion when it first came out. Because, I mean, the graphics are crisp, beautiful, clean, immersible. The gameplay itself is very good. There's nothing missing from this game. There's no grind so far. Even in Ion, I had a grind at the first 10 levels when the game first came out. I don't see that in this game. So, even the water, too. Like, I'm swimming in water. Yes, you can swim in this game. It's just so complete. The scenery just looks so lifelike how it's supposed to be. And it just feels, perfect the way it is. It feels like a world. So on the topic of gameplay, Greg, how would you describe the true action combat that we see in this game? Now, I say true action combat in the sense that other games like Dragon Nest and Vindictus are in a dungeon-based world. It's not like a true action MMO where you're actually in a full open world. This game is, however, in an open world. So how would you say the combat is, compared to other games that have been out there and have tread the waters like SWTOR and World of Warcraft in particular? How would you describe the combat compared to those games?
Well, excuse me. Well, this game, I'll be honest, I haven't really played too many action MMOs, but just compared to like SWTOR and stuff, I can't. I'll be honest, I can't really compare it just because it's just this game just has more of a feel to it. If you dodge your own attacks, if you're not aiming at the guy, you're gonna miss. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's very unique gameplay, that I know of. I mean, I'm sure there's other gameplays that are similar, but I don't know. This this one's getting pretty good.
Exactly. How would you describe the world's population too? I'm in a channel 5, and the population is a lot of people. There's a lot of people walking around. Like, it's ridiculous. How would you describe how the closed beta population's been compared to other closed betas you may have been in recently?
Well, this one, it feels like it's definitely a lot more full, and it seems like this one. There's not as many like players, freaking out about how bad the game is. Everybody's like, wow, this game is beautiful, and it's just there's a lot of people here that just I don't know.
Yeah. The thing I kind of thought of was this game is probably the most busiest closed betas I've ever seen. Because I'm in channel 5 and the population is high. There's a bunch of people in this channel right now, and I see people everywhere. But there's enough mobs as well being spawned that I don't have to worry about it. So the world just seems completely complete. I mean, it's not like thin enough of mobs where you're gonna run into issues farming stuff, but there's enough people where it feels like it's an actual world. And that's something that sort of SWTOR lacked. Like, it had huge landscapes, but not a lot of people. It just seemed like it was very secluded and not complete, like Tera feels. Would you say that this game feels more complete than SWTOR, one of its competitors?
Oh yeah. This game's a lot more complete than that. It's SWTOR feels more dead in my opinion. It's just there's not as in the beta there was a lot of people running around. You can have fun. Get groups pretty quickly. But just when the game came out, it's just dead and it just I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
know, I
this game
was
is pretty good.
yeah, I was one of those type of people who just bought SWTOR and played SWTOR because it had a lot of hype behind it. And I did a lot of videos to represent how good it is. I mean, because it's a great game. It's a great theme park MMO that has hotkeys and stuff like that. But this is really our first true open world action MMO that we've seen, since the dawn of time. We haven't really seen a full-scale MMO built off of the action MMORPG type that we've all wanted for a very long time. So this is a very interesting MMO that I've been waiting for quite some time. You were one of those type of people who, heard of it, but you didn't really like it that much, and then I started showing you gameplay, and you're like, oh my god, this game's awesome, because you didn't really research a lot at first, sort of one of those skeptical things. Partly because, like you said, all this stuff was in Korean. You didn't really like having to read Korean. So, being so close to the closed beta and launch, with the limited footage that you have seen, how would you sort of, I guess you could say, predict the end game is going to be? Because there is going to be end game. There is end game. I've seen end game footage. But how intense, hard, vast is the end game, do you think, so far? Like, what would be your best guess?
I mean, like the difficulty of what would it be like?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty intense. Because just from gameplay videos that we've watched recently, just simple world bosses sit there and take 10 minutes just to take down. So I'm thinking, these bigger group dungeons, whatever, 10 player or 15 player dungeons, whatever they are, I'm sure they're just going to take a long time to take out bosses. They're going to be very complicated, but I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah, I have to agree. The bosses have looked like they're very hard and challenging because you do have to dodge everything yourself. And if you don't have a good tank, you're just going to lose, because you do have to dodge everything yourself. And you do have to realize what's going on around you, where in games like World of Warcraft, oh, there's fire on the ground. Cool, let's move out of the way. Oh, we just beat the boss, guys. How awesome is that?
Game over.
It wasn't really that challenging. A lot of people say, oh, well then why don't people freaking clear stuff fast? They clear it in a week, people. A week. And that's with at least one dumbass on your team. And WoW, if you have one dumbass in your raid group, you're going to lose because you need that one dumbass to put out his however much K DPS.
You need my help?
That's one of the things that WoW just had is coordination. It wasn't really skill involved. It was more of doing your rotation.
Or dancing.
Yeah, doing your normal rotation, and hopefully your entire raid stays out of the fire and does everything they're supposed to.
You need my help?
This game, it's more of you have to dodge, you have to do all your skills, you have to do this, you have to do all your combos.
You need my help?
It just has a lot more things going on, and then you have to stay out of the fire as well.
And the fire.
And the fire. So it has a bunch of dynamics within its raid content that I've seen so far with a lot of footage that I have seen because I'm a Tera addict. I mean, I've looked at so much stuff about this game to give you guys some more informative.
You should have seen this guy when he just got the beta.
Oh,
A kid in the candy store, I tell you.
kid in the candy store, yes. Yes. So how would you, because you've played a couple classes. I think you've played, how many classes have you played so far?
I've played 3 so far. The
3 so far.
Berserker, the Lancer, and what's the mage?
The Sorcerer?
The Sorcerer, yeah.
Yeah, so you've played more up close and personal type people. I've played more of the ranged characters. So what I'm wondering is, what do you think of the melee characters so far, and how would you contrast that with the Sorcerer that you played? Like, what do you think of the Sorcerer and the other 2 melee classes you played so far?
Well, the Sorcerer I really only got to I probably played her, I don't know, like an hour. I got to level 5. I didn't do too much, But from what I did notice, you actually gotta aim, obviously, action MMO, which I thought was pretty cool. I never really experienced that before. So, you gotta aim at the guy. It's different. You don't have to just press tab and then just press 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, for the up close guys, like the Lancer and the Berserker, I really enjoy them because you gotta dodge every attack. Unlike a range, where you can just sit there and just keep harassing.
Exactly.
With these guys, you gotta dodge behind them and then hit them a couple times, maybe block a move, then move again to hit them a couple more times. I like it more just because it has more of a challenge to me. You know what I mean? Have a little bit more of that difficulty.
Yeah, exactly. And all the classes all have a difficulty scale when you create them, so you really have that sense of what you're getting into before you do it. And I looked at some of the Slayers and Lancers, stuff like that, and they have more difficulty stars because of the fact that you do actually have to dodge, you do actually have to do this and that. Where I could just run around and kite stuff all day. It's not as difficult for me, but to kill a mob. But then again, in PvP, it's gonna be a lot different because don't you have a lot of charge skills as a Lancer?
At this very moment in time, I have one skill. I wouldn't necessarily call it a charge, but he does kind of move forward a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, I haven't done any PvP yet, but I'm sure it can come in pretty good use.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there is a charge at the later level.
Yeah, I've seen a charge in gameplay at higher levels. So, they do a really good job of balancing stuff out. They really don't just leave you in the fog, hoping that you're gonna have a charge to counter this. You're gonna have this to counter that. It really just gives you everything you need to counter stuff. It's sort of like what I told everyone about Ion. It's a chess match system. You are set in a chess board, and you got to make the right moves. You gotta, it's basically your decision to call something overpowered or not, because you literally have the counters to everything. At least so far. I've noticed this stuff with the different dynamics of classes. Like with Lancers, you have charges to make sure Rangers can't kite. You have, for a priest, you have a bunch of heals to make sure that you're not completely underpowered. It just has that system that there's counters of stuff. And that provides a great system in future levels for PvP, in my opinion. And even in Korean PvP systems, when I've looked at the Koreans playing PvP in Tera, it doesn't seem overpowered at all. It seems like it's very balanced and everyone has a fair shot. So it's going to be very interesting at later levels and future betas to see what the PvP is going to be like, and to share my opinions and thoughts on that in later levels. So we are going to be doing our first dungeon tonight probably, Greg, since it is level 20. If there's any thoughts on how you like your dungeons to be, what do you think that your first dungeon experience is going to be like, predicted from gameplay you've played and stuff like that? Just give me your thoughts on the first dungeon, like what you think's gonna happen, and
I couldn't really tell you right now. I'm hoping it'd be pretty, pretty challenging. I just gonna have to wait and be surprised. I can't really, I can't really say anything about it right now. But I am hoping the bosses, take a little bit longer than these, little average guys. It takes 30 seconds or whatever to kill. Hoping they take a little bit longer than that, but
just checking in.
I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Greetings, soldier.
Yep, exactly. We're just gonna have to see. He answered that actually right. I was hoping he'd go a little more than that. Like, I want a large, vast area with huge walls and a purple carpet on the floor, a couple polygons on the right and left. But he gave the right answer, so
Looks like someone played a trick on you.
So thank you for that, Greg. But anyways, let's head into the last part of the video, which is the interface. A lot of people do hate interfaces in separate games and love them in others. World of Warcraft's been one of the most innovative interfaces of all time because it does have a bunch of add-ons to make it that. How would you rate Tera's interface compared to other games? Is it complex? Is it simple?
Far away?
Does it look nice? How would you describe it?
You know, it's actually not bad looking. I actually like how everything works. You know, you got like you got your little radar map up here in the top corner, and, you know, then you got your an extra little mini map right here. You know, and if you don't like it, you know, just press N and it'll go
you
away.
just press N like I said right there.
Exactly, and then you have, you know, your bars here. You can expand it. You know, I kind of like it. It's not bad. Yeah, it's a little different, some of the things, but, you know, it's not bad. And this quest tracker over here it does a pretty good job. You know, if you can't find something, just click the name.
Yeah.
You know, and I really like how the HP and the MP is up here. I don't know, it's just a personal thing how I like it, just the way it is. It's just I can see things a little bit more accurately. You know, and just some of the small things. You know, it just looks different. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so you're liking the interface so far.
Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I like the interface. You know, I'm normally not an interface Nazi like some people are. This particularly because I like sort of what I get with games, because the interfaces give each game its own feel. And if you combine the same interface with every game's gonna look the same. You know, it's one of those things that you're gonna be staring at for hours. You know, why not make it different? And, you know, Tera does a good job of that with the health bars. Health bars look completely different than most games do nowadays. And that is really cool that they do it like that. So I'm really happy with the interface overall. I'm really happy with this game overall as someone who's been waiting for it for a very long time.
Very long time.
Very long time. And in the later videos, we're going to be checking out the cities, the different areas, and stuff like that. So stay tuned for a lot more footage coming from the Lugo camp. Anyways, Greg, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And this is the end of episode number 48 of Level Up. Make sure you thumbs up the video, and the question of the day is, do you like big worlds? Why or why not? What I mean by big is worlds like Tera, where they're just vast, they're just ginormous. You know, they have, you know, multiple areas to them. Leave your thoughts, comments, and suggestions down in the comment section below. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Lugo Entertainment, twitter.com/Zach Sharps. And thanks you for watching once again. Thanks you for watching.
Thanks you.
Thanks you for watching. Anyways, guys, catch you guys next time.